Hey guys, I am going to talk to you today on this episode of Things They Didn't Teach You in School about how to set up a business. It may sound easy, but there's actually several things you need to consider before you come up with your business name and the structure that you want to use to operate your business. So I've got three basic types of business entities behind me. And I'm going to touch the highlights of these, but I just want to tell you again, you need to make sure that you will go to a tax professional, an attorney, if you need their help. Somebody that you need those guys on your team to be able to make sure that you are setting up your business the right way to start out with, because you do not want to start it the wrong way and then have to go back and change things. It's going to be more headache than it's worth. It's worth trying to get it done the right way and paying somebody to help you do that. So three types, main types. There are others. There's partnerships, things like that. These are the three main types, especially if you're a small business. Sole proprietor is basically if you just have it in your name, your individual name, and it's going to be reported. The income will be reported to your Social Security number. It's the easiest way to set it up. You just basically go to the bank, set your checking account up, and say, I'm going to set this account up as John Doe, DBA, John's Landscaping. It's as simple as that. You use your tax ID. There's nothing more that you have to do. But there's no protection. And what I mean by that means if you are out doing business as whatever DBA you chose, and you do something that causes damage to somebody else, hurts somebody else, and somebody sues you, they're suing you personally. They're actually going to be coming after you personally, and there's no level of a protection. These other two entities offer some level of protection in case somebody does try to sue you. In corporation or LLC, they're only going to be able to come after that corporation or that LLC. They're not going to come after you personally, not after your personal assets. A corporation ultimately comes down to how big, how complicated do you really want your business to be? Are you trying to grow it to eventually be public, to be a privately held corporation that's huge, that you have multiple shareholders? Just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. But there's two main types of corporations. There's an S Corp and a C Corp. C Corp, you've probably heard the word double taxation, and that comes from a C Corp because the corporation is taxed, and if you're an owner of that corporation, you're also taxed on the personal level for the income that's passed to you. So that's where you get that double taxation. The S Corporation, the corporation's not taxed, but the income that comes to you personally as the owner, it's taxed at your personal level. So there are advantages to doing the S Corp, but again, it just depends on what kind of business you're in, what you're trying to accomplish. That's where the tax professional, the attorneys, you need to get their advice to help figure that out. But the last one I'm going to tell you about is the limited liability company, and this is probably one of the easiest things to set up. You can have it set up individually, or you can have other members that own it with you. The LLC, limited liability company, it limits your liability. And that is very important if you're operating a business, because again, if something happens and somebody tries to sue you, they're going to come after the company, not you personally. And the reason this is the easiest to do is because you basically go on the Secretary of State and you make sure your business name's available, you apply for it there, and you set it up. I think it's $15 on the annual report that you have to pay, $175 a year that you have to pay to the Secretary of State also for having this LLC. And that's pretty much it to have that extra protection. Now, this is not insurance, people. Doesn't have anything to do with insurance. This just keeps people from being able to come after you personally, and it keeps the liability within the company. Your company still needs liability insurance, because if you don't have the insurance, they're still going to come after the company and get whatever assets it has that doesn't have insurance. So there you go. That's why you need insurance to go with it too. So not talking about insurance, but just explaining that there is a difference between how you set it up and the protection, and based on how you set it up and the protection you get from an insurance policy. So if you are a small business owner and you have not set up an LLC yet, and you're a sole proprietor, I would highly recommend that you look into doing that. And you can still, if you're a single member LLC, you can still actually just use your Social Security number to report that to, but you're giving yourself the level of protection of the limited liability company. I hope that helps you guys out. If you're a small business owner, if you're looking to go into business, look into this. Make sure you get your professionals on your team, your tax professionals, your attorneys, and your insurance agent. They all need to be on the same team with you to make sure that you do this the right way and you're covered properly.